Yeah, that's right. You just got pranked again. You thought I was gonna be away for another 3 years, didn't you? Well, I'm back already, baby. Alright, initiate a calm voice. Welcome back to Deathrun Remade. Here's a recap of the last episode. To kick things off on a high note, I used literally all of my power to make this copper wire and begin collecting fragments for the Sea Glide. Naturally, inflation has hit this game as well because it requires 6 fragments instead of 2. Ooh, a phone call. This is a message from the ship, the Sunbeam. They received our distress call and are close enough to come and get us.
It's gonna take more than a week to reach your position. Do you still need our assistance? Over.
I think we got this one. I spent a few minutes gathering all I need to craft the habitat builder and gathering up my pipe network from the last episode. Here, I temporarily forget that I need to breathe, so after remembering, I filled up my oxygen tank, got harassed by this biter, and unlocked the Sea Glide. You may think that the Sea Glide will make me a lot faster. No, because of the power requirements, I'm only able to really use this when I need a burst of speed to get away from something. After unlocking the beacon, I find my first mobile vehicle bay fragment. Ouch. Getting back, I drink some more bleach water and explain my plan. The Jellyshroom caves are concealed about 200 meters beneath the waves. Oxygen will be my biggest concern down there, so I'm going to use a plan so ingenious that many of you won't even be able to conceive of it. Once I get down there, if a crab snake decides to chase me, I'll use the Sea Glide to create distance until it loses interest. The forced slow ascent is what I'm most worried about, but there's not really a whole lot I can do about that. This escapade will take a lot of preparation because I will need to craft at least 4 things. Here's why that's such a problem. When the Aurora exploded, we entered Phase 2, the snail phase. This is the slowest part of the whole game, so we'll breeze right through it as much as we can. You'll only see about 10 minutes of it, but this was 3 hours of in-game time. This is mostly because of the aforementioned 2 minutes it takes to generate enough power to craft one thing. Doesn't really sound that bad, right? You try sitting still for 2 minutes. Never mind. I reach the entrance of the cave and begin connecting pipes down to this area. I also forgot about the main point of the mod and almost died to the bends. When I got down to the entrance, tragedy struck. For some reason, I couldn't place any more pipes. I thought it might be the hitbox of this big, what even is that thing? I've never really thought about it, but it can't be a mushroom because those are the mushrooms, and it can't really be the ground because... Never mind. In any case, I decided to try to circumnavigate it, but that wasn't working. The fish from the last episode had not given up on their antics, so I was engaging in the 1-to-10 ratio of work. 1 second of work per 10 seconds of tomfoolery trying to evade these cretins. Doing a bit of research, there was apparently a patch to the game that made pipes pretty much useless. Their hitbox is apparently so large now that they can't be brought into most cave systems. All the answers online said to just use the Seamoth, but after remembering how many scans the mobile vehicle bay would take, I decided I didn't have the patience to wait for 9 hours. After obliging to place some more ring around the rosy, I dropped my beacon and started back home. I almost died for the 100th time and decided to make a second oxygen tank. My food and water were looking a little low, so I refilled both of those. The problem I had was that my water would drain almost as fast as it took to craft more, so this was a very slow process. And no, I wasn't going insane, thank you for asking. My food and water were looking a little low in real life too, so I went to cook some dinner. I wasn't going to let that time go to waste though. I set myself a 2-minute timer and sprinted inside to craft something random every time it went off. Some food? Of course. A 4th piece of glass? Why ever not? The sausages were only slightly burnt. I opted for a slightly different plan than the Seamoth. A lot of people don't realize that you can store multiple full oxygen tanks in your inventory at once. Crafting these 3 oxygen tanks and a rebreather would give me 450 seconds underwater. That's 7.5 minutes. Editing cow here. No, it's not. I don't know what I was smoking, but that's nowhere near being correct. The actual number is 315 seconds, which is a little over 5 minutes. It's not even a bed mass problem either, so I have no idea how I arrived at that number. Anyway, back to the video. I also took comfort in knowing that if I drowned, I wouldn't have deserved to have been alive to begin with. I made the sea glide and I was all ready to go. It may look like I'm stalling here, but I just wanted to make sure I remembered how to swim before I left. I'm feeling really confident right now. I'm just, practicing my jousting skills. I'm not delaying entering that dark, awful cave by any means. I take a deep breath and speed down to the bottom. The radiation does not go beneath 200 meters, so once I get there, I swap into my rebreather. Entering the cave, the music does wonders to ease my tensions. My plan is to collect 1 magnetite and 2 lithium. Ooh, a magnetite. I'm definitely not sticking around for longer than I have to, which is exactly what my ex told me. I decided to pull out a flare, making sure to let all the crab snakes know I was food.
The conditions in this cave support a microcosm of unique, possibly predatory life forms.
You don't say. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit about crab snakes. This creature hunts by hiding inside of these jellyshrooms. This tactic will likely get you once, but once you change your trousers, it won't happen again. Look how goofy he is. The point is, this creature is an expert ambusher. What can we learn from the crab snake school of stealth? The first step when sneaking up on your target is to make the loudest noise possible while slowly swimming towards your prey. Fortunately, it turns out he wasn't actually going for me, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I sped out of there quicker than money from my bank account. I got my 2 lithium, and then began to swim up. I forgot about the bends again, and after stabilizing my nitrogen, I escaped from the cave. Oh nice, a sea moth fragment. Maybe this will finally fix my mobility issues. Or, maybe it won't. Ooh, a bioreactor fragment. Getting back to my base, I sorted the same piece of lithium back and forth from my locker and finally constructed the habitat builder. I'm also very pleased to announce that I maintain my composure extremely well. Yeah! I gathered everything I needed for a starter base and grabbed the beacon from the pipe location. I also crafted the air bladder, which you can empty anywhere because it's just air inside of it. This would also be a very useful tool for later. With all the materials in hand, I headed off towards my favorite base location ever. As I build this base, I'll explain why it's my favorite. A lot of people don't actually think of the Safe Shallows as a very good base location, but I think that they're the best. They're very central, so you're never more than a kilometer away from anything, and they're safe, hence the name. You're pretty shallow here, so solar panels actually work, and many resources are abundant. The main complaints that I hear are that they're hard to maneuver the Cyclops through, and to those people I can't really disagree with you. I mean, I've never had any trouble with it, but maybe some people don't know how the camera system works. You're also very far away from any shale deposits that aren't in the Jellyshroom caves, but of all the outcrops, shale is by far the easiest to find in bulk. All you need to do is go here, or here, and you've got all the shale you'll need for the rest of the game. While trying to perfectly center the solar panel, I almost drowned, forgetting that I had 2 more O2 tanks and an air bladder in my inventory. Once entering my base, a minor glitch I employ is with the habitat builder. While you are in your base, you don't actually need power to use the habitat builder, so it made building my base really easy. I placed a fabricator and some lockers, crafted one last time at my life pod, and transported everything to my new base. Here, I'm looking for a very important blueprint. No, not that one. Yes, that one. After obtaining all the required resource, I crafted the swivel chair. I did this because your food and water don't go down when sitting in a chair, so I could wait for as long as I wanted to regenerate power. I crafted a window, and then decided I didn't like the way it was placed, so I rejigged the whole room. Finally, I had a base. I was feeling extremely convivial. And that concludes today's episode. I'm sorry for the anticlimactic ending, but I sort of just wanted to get this video out as soon as I could. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. You guys absolutely smashed the subscriber goal last time, so this time we're going for 30. I know, but I think we can make it. I'll see you guys in the next video.